Hey y'all, Happy New Year, and welcome to the last day of Kwanzaa. I celebrate Kwanzaa in my own little way, especially given the fact of what has been going on over the last almost year. So, anyway, y'all, this is a long overdue recap review for the TV show The Family Business. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so it starts off in a jail, prison, or wherever they at, and they show brother Xavier, who is the husband of Sonya. Now Sonya is Junior, who I love to call Big Sexy. That's his wife. Junior wants to marry her. He didn't, well, I think he knew about it, but he didn't really care. And he was going to find a way around it because he wants to marry Sonya. But anyway, y'all, we see brother Xavier roll up on some people who are like the head of the Aryan Nation in that facility. And they looking at him like, you must not know who you talking to and where you have, decided to roll up. And he was like, oh no, I know exactly where I am. I know exactly who you are. And he introduced himself. And then one of them, who was the main person that Xavier, or whatever his name, X, was there to see. And he was like, yeah, I know who you are. And he was trying to figure out what he was there for. Y'all, to make a long story short, he got shivved, shanked, and his right hand man got shanked up some terrible. And he was paid to do that, and he's tired, and I'm tired, and I was just like, y'all just go set it off for real. Okay. So speaking of Big Sexy, y'all, he in the kitchen at the family house in the dark, sipping on some dark liquor. So his family come in, and his mama was like, Junior, baby, what you doing in here in the dark? Y'all, make a long story short, he let them know everything that was going on. Of course, Orlando done went all the way off because he does not like Sonya. He ain't never liked Sonya. He ain't never been able to put his finger on as to why he don't like her, but he ain't here for her. He ain't never been here for her. And for him to tell him what was going on, as far as the ex-husband and the brotherhood, the brothers, or whatever they call, I don't forgot what they call it. I'm not trying to be disrespectful with the black Muslims and all that stuff. They came in there on behalf of brother Xavier. And he was just like, look, they came in there, told me what it was, and delivered the message. And the way that they approached it, they made it seem as though whether or not guns were going to be drawn, that the message was going to be received by me, and that they were going to pass it on. And, it is what it is. And it was to the point where when they left the restaurant, because that was the night that he proposed to her. And, everybody in the family wanted to know how that went. And so he was like, well, I didn't get to that part because this is what happened. Y'all, they on the way home from the restaurant, she boohoo crying all the way home. And when she stopped crying and shaking, she said, I will fix this. Then she went back to crying again. Then he said they went to sleep. When he woke up this morning, she was gone. So she won't answer her phone. He don't know where she at. And he in his feelings, but he ain't really trying to hear all that. So, I mean, a little bit is coming back to me, but he already knew about her getting divorced because she don't want to be with him no more. He goes by brother Xavier. I guess he converted and all that stuff while he was in prison doing his bid because she calls him Charlie. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, yeah, y'all, it's a lot going on. And even though Orlando is cutting the food, his mama was like, look, we're going to have to stick together. Your daddy is still in somewhere in Florida, handling business, and we're going to have to stick together and do what we got to do. So they're going to, get down to some things, but this was really too much that's going on. And I don't like what he be going through. Like, he is too good of a man. Like, Junior is fine. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. Y'all know how I get about Junior. My bad. So the twins, Rio and Paris, roll up in Spain. And just in case y'all have not paid attention over the past 2-3 years since this show has been out. All of the children are named after cities: London, Paris, Rio, Nevada, Orlando. It's a lot of them, y'all. I'm probably missing somebody. Let me see. I feel like I'm missing somebody's name. I had the names up here, but just in case y'all don't know. But yeah, who else? Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out, just in case y'all didn't catch that. I just want to throw that out there, because I was like, because I remember when I first, got into the show 2-3 years ago. I was like, everybody named after a city. What is going on? But anyway, the only one who isn't, that's one of the kids, is Big Sexy, big fine sexy man, because he's named after his daddy. So it is what it is. Oh, y'all. So anyway, what happened? Because the most just happened. So Rio and Paris, y'all, because I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Rio and Paris, the twins, they are in Spain, and they are there. Of course, they're their own business. So they rolled up to this amazing house, mansion, whatever it is, honey. And Paris is all the way here for it. Like, she was like, I'm impressed. So they go and meet this dude named Willie. And so then they go, because it's like beach. It's like surrounded by beaches and things or whatever. So then we see somebody emerge from the water, like Aquaman or somebody. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? And it's Niles, if I'm not mistaken. What his name is? I think his name is Niles. And I'm like, I'm still confused, because I'm trying to understand if Christian Keys is playing two different characters on here or what. Because I don't know. Because unless he is a part of the Brotherhood or whatever it is, and he doing that too, because I know he doing some underhanded stuff and doing some assassin work and all this other stuff just like them, even though Paris don't know. They have been confusing me as of late. So anyway, so he emerged from the ocean and things, and so Paris go run out there and hug him, and they're excited because they're gonna spend time together tonight. So anyway, y'all, moving right along to the prison. So Xavier ends up getting a visit from his wife, and Sonya tied her spirit, and he was like, oh, I see you got my messages. She was like, yeah, of course. I wouldn't have been here if I hadn't. And you could tell she mad, she tired, and she straight up told him, I cannot do this anymore. I want a divorce. And he looking at her like, I don't know what you're talking about. I can get my conjugal visits reinstated and all of that. And so she was like, what you gonna do for me up in here? I need somebody that's gonna hold me at night and all of this. And she was like, I didn't mean to, but I fell in love with him. Because he asked her straight up, do you love this man? And she was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, sir, if you... He told her that the only way anybody is going to be free, because she told him, I want to be free. Said the only way that's going to happen is if one of them ends up dead, meaning him or her. And he was just like, I don't plan on going nowhere no time soon. Like, I cannot. It's the toxicity for me. I cannot. So, Vegas, who is another child, who I've mentioned before, who was being played by Michael Jai White, he is in prison, right? So after everything has been discussed amongst the family about what needs to happen, they thought that they should go and visit him. Now, Vegas does not like his family to come and see him, where he is and all of that. So he was, of course, happy to see his mama, but he was looking like, okay, but why are you here? I don't like y'all to see me and come up here and do all that, because it's his mama and his brother-in-law, who is London, who is Tammy Roman's, her husband, are up there. So they're explaining to him the situation about brother Xavier, and wanted to know if he's ever heard of him before. And he was like, "Look, wait a minute. Are you sure that this is who you're talking about? Are you sure that that's his name?" And they were like, "Yeah." And it told him his, government name before he, I don't know why I can't think of the word. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I said it earlier. And converted, and which is Charles Brown or something like that. And he was like, I only know him by reputation. But he let them know, y'all need to go and tell Daddy to go on ahead and have somebody go uptown and handle this ASAP. Y'all, so meanwhile, back in Spain, Rio got a phone call from Sebastian, and he was like, I want to take you shopping, and, some stuff got postponed and moved around. So, if you're up to it, I can take you shopping. And so he was like, okay, just drop me the address. And so his sister found out, and even though she there bayed up with Niles, she was like, okay, well, do you want to go shopping with us? And she begging her brother to go, and he was like, well, you could go shopping. And then, we meet up later on or whatever. And so I don't think that's happening, but it is what it is. So anyway, y'all, Orlando has met up with somebody at the this Muslim place where he used to go to school at, because he's feeling like if I go up there and talk to him, maybe I can have somebody who can kind of help guide me through the situation so it don't go down the wrong path. So he talking to him, and he's like, it's good to see you. And he was like, look, I understand the teachings. I still, adhere to a lot of the stuff that I learned here, but my brother then got caught up in a situation and wanted to know if he knew Xavier and all this other stuff. He was like, oh yeah, we know him, but he's no longer affiliated with us. Like, he is no longer a part of this. And so they looking like, okay, what you mean? Because he over here talking about he a part of it. So what is going on? So they figured out how, he was moving, and they was like, nah, what we don't do is tolerate that. So they excommunicated him. And they thought that it would be a way to humble Xavier. He wasn't here for it, and he got worse. And now he's a part of contracted assassins, and it's a gang type situation. And it's funny because it's like, y'all saying all this. So basically everybody in this show is some sort of assassin. And it's like, who gonna get who first at this point? And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm so tired. So anyway, he running stuff in the prison, and he got hitters on the outside that are trained killers. And look, the man who Orlando met up with was like, look, I want to try to help you, but I don't know what I can really do. I know some people who still talk to him, even though he's been excommunicated, and I can reach out to them and see if, they can kind of relay a message to kind of extend an olive branch. But I don't know how that's going to go. So, y'all, it's a lot going on there. I don't know how that's going to go, but it's a lot. Y'all, Brother Xavier has so much pull that all, and I mean all, of the COs are up under his thumb. They report to him, let him know what's going on the inside, on the outside, and all this other stuff. They are planning something big, and I'll tell y'all about that in a minute. And I'm just like, how? Why? What you mean? But anyway, like, he done went all the way off. He has all kinds of contraband that you can tell is not supposed to be in his cell, just up there. It's just there. It's just right there, as if it's just fine and dandy in his regular house when it's clearly contraband. Y'all, they call him, well, he calls himself Brother Minister. That's what I was trying to remember what his name was, or what he referred to himself as, which was the man who Orlando knew as a child when he went to that school, when he went up there to try to speak on behalf of his brother. So Brother Minister popped up at the house. Nevada went and got the door, who is, of course, Orlando's nephew, Vegas's son, who was locked up. And he told him who he was. And so he went to tell Orlando, who was at the door, and he was like, talking to Harris because they're going over paperwork and all this other stuff. They go over the logistics. And so he's like, okay, I need to know what's really going on for Brother Minister to come down here without calling me first. So he went and greeted him and his, assistant or whatever he wants to be called, and invited him all the way on into the house, and they're talking, and he was like, look, Xavier has escaped from prison. And I'm pretty sure like within the hour they will start broadcasting on the news, but I figured I'd come down here and let y'all know so that y'all can do whatever y'all feel like y'all need to do. And the only thing that I can offer up for you to do is to tell your brother to stay away from that man's wife. Yeah, everybody's hiding their spirit. So Orlando was like, okay, so what we gonna do is we gonna keep him on lockdown. We gonna take his keys and everything away from him so he can't go nowhere, because we not finna let nothing happen to him. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, it done got real bad. So y'all, they done actually showed Charlotte, who is the mama, and as you see the names, I'm guessing she's the reason why everybody is named after a city, the mama. Charlotte is in the kitchen cutting up all sorts of vegetables when Sonia walks in, and she's like, hey, you want to see me or whatever, and like she lives for the family, and so she was like, yeah, so what I'm not finna do is this. The pleasantries ain't finna be what it normally is. I like you and all, but I need to know if your husband is gonna try to come after my son, because whether you know it or not, your husband escaped from prison last night. And so she looking like, what? Y'all, to make a long story short, Charlotte said it all the way off and was like, what we're not finna do is this. And if you think that he's going to try to come after my son and possibly come after my family, if they try to come in between what is his, then you need to go ahead and get out the picture. She told that girl to get out of her house. She told her, is she willing to let her son go? And she said yes, reluctantly, because she lives for Junior, which I understand because he's fine. And so, but she was like, are you serious? Are you really gonna make me do it? Charlotte didn't went off to get out of my house. Y'all know she added some cuss words in there, but she said it all the way off. She was like, because we're finished with this. We're finished with all of this. So, do I need to call you an Uber? And so she really like, are you serious? Told her to get out the house and everything, y'all. It is getting very real up in here. Everybody is tired. Ain't nobody got. My thing is this. I love you, Sonia, but I'm gonna need for you to remember that we thought Orlando got killed before. Like, some stuff went down. One of their relatives did get killed, and they thought they'd killed Orlando, but the cousin was out here flogging and got killed in the process, trying to fake like he was Orlando. And so, yeah, y'all, the most was going on. So Charlotte ain't got time for all of this to pop off again, because her child is in the middle of some more foolishness. Ain't nobody got time, because she already was a nervous wreck when she thought her other child was dead before. Ain't nobody got time for this. So Rio is, talking to Sebastian. They're playing chess, and he wants to know like what is really going on. He keep on talking about this meeting that he got on Friday, and so he was like, look, there is no secret about what has been going on as far as heat is concerned. And for those of y'all who have forgotten or don't know, heat is this product that the Duncan family has created all on their own, to my formula, all of that. Like, nobody can get it unless they come to them. Now, that's the way you capitalize. But anyway, so he's trying to understand, like, what is going on, what you need with me. Because obviously, Rio likes Sebastian more than just hanging out with him and all this other stuff. So he was like, look, you the only one who I can talk to and get to as far as the family is concerned. You're the closest one that I can get my hands on to be able to get their hands on some more heat. And he was looking like, okay, we just upped everybody's, like, everybody got a ridiculous amount after, if they had this big meeting, like, I don't remember if it was at the beginning of this season or like at the end of last season. I think it was the beginning of this season. But everybody who is affiliated with that family and they get their product from them, everybody ended up getting a whole lot of heat because it has really been doing well. So he's like, look, I'm trying to take over the European market, and the only way I'm be able to do that is if you have a hand in it and you can get me more product. And so he looking like, okay, well, how much more though? And he was like 2-3 times more than what you gave me before. And he was like, well, ain't no way you gonna get it because we already gave you what you're gonna get. We was gonna give you. And so he was like, I know, that's why I'm trying to talk to you. But if I cannot get it from you, then I'm gonna be screwed come Friday, because these people are looking for it because they really want it overseas. They want it out of the country. You know what I'm saying? He is like a club promoter, club owner, all this other stuff. And so, you know, he can move it freely through his clubs and all of that. But for people to be seeking it out and he to put himself out there like he really has that connect, he gonna look crazy come Friday and he gonna get screwed. So Rihanna told him, look, I'm gonna see what I can do, but if you try me, I'm gonna need for you to remember that don't think because I'm all pretty and fine and all of that I'm not a Duncan. I'm still a Duncan at the end of the day, so don't try it. Y'all, Paris is still in Spain and laid up with Niles, and they done took it to the bedroom. And so before they even started doing what they was finna do, I neglected to mention that earlier in the episode, he had taken a shower and got out of the shower with some random heifer that rolled up in the house. And she's trying to seduce him. He ain't here for it. He was like, I already told you what I tell you when we was in Madrid, that we done. This is over with. And so, like, she repeated everything back to him, which the gist of it is that he has no interest in doing anything with her anymore. He already did what he was supposed to do for her family, because since he's a contracted hitman or whatever too, he's done work for her family, and those services are over with. And every now and again, they would end up working together or being around one another. I don't know if he was protecting her or whatever, but they were screwing, and they would go from country to country, and they were screwing. And he'd have been told her, it's over with. I'm dealing with somebody here that I like or whatever. And so she really was trying to roll up, and he was like, you're going to have to leave. He'd have told her to get out. She was like, I can't believe you put me out. So she acted like she left. So that later in the episode, she has resurfaced, meaning this heifer ain't never left the house. So she going through Paris's bag. She see a gun in there. She see the money in there. She got 5 passports, because anybody who's watched the show, we already know that her and her family, if they need to travel, they're going to go up under all sorts of aliases. And so this heifer that took out all her passports starts taking pictures of the passports. I'm just like, heifer, you is too bold for me. You're too bold for me. I ain't got time. So anyway, she starts to hear them coming. So she went and hid. I thought she went in a closet. This heifer went outside the window like a ninja somewhere on the side of the building. And so Paris, you know, they about to get it started. And so she was like, something don't feel right. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's finna go on? I didn't know if it was going to be like a typical scene where they feel something ain't right, and then she kind of take her time and look around, and she'd have hid weapons somewhere else, and then she go get the weapons, and then, you know, but that ain't what happened. And so he was like, well, maybe that's my job to make sure it does feel right or whatever. And so then they get up off the bed, and they go onto the balcony, and they back it up and kiss it. And the whole time we see this heifer mounted on the side of the building, just in a prowess type, you know, pose. And I'm just like, girl. And then I'm like, this is unrealistic. This heifer to jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton. Y'all stop. Let me stop. And like everywhere that she went, I'm like, ain't no way somebody didn't see her out the corner of their eye. That part is unrealistic. We ain't gonna get into that. But anyway, she in her feelings. She see them making out. And I'm like, girl, get out your feelings. He been told you that he was done fooling around with you. The end. Oh, well. So the Duncans have upped their security, hallelujah, because the last time something popped off, they were very, very much so unprepared. And it was Consuela, who is Nevada's mama. They was doing the most. They shot everything up. Y'all the most happening. When I say a shootout, that was an understatement. So they're trying to be prepared because, you know, they now know the old boy that got out of prison. Well, he didn't escape. Y'all, so we get down to the end of the episode and we see brother Xavier has escaped, and one, a couple of his minions, or that dude who was like his main right hand or whatever. And so one of the COs is very mouthy. He talked too much. He keeps calling him X. He done already told him, my name is Xavier, don't call me X. So they done got out. They done got paid to get them out of there. And so I'm like, you're dumb. Everybody is dumb in this situation. Anybody who is doing this, y'all are dumb. But anyway, they done broke them out of prison. And both of them were supposed to be getting paid $500,000 each. They done gave them the money. But old boy was like, well, where's my half? Where's my money? So they ended up giving him the bag, and then Xavier was like, your boy talked too much like a parrot, and you know too much about the Aryan Nation and my business affiliations and all this other stuff. So it was over with. All of his hitters ended up killing him, and I was like, oh well, that's what you get. That's what you get. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed the recap review of The Family Business. I will be back later on with more, hopefully. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Bye.